Hi, my name is Josh Salisbury. I'm an investment banking career coach, and if you'd like to learn more about what that means, please refer back to my introductory video, also found on this website, www.harvardcareermanagement.com. The purpose of this video is to address the parents who want their son or daughter to enter the field of investment banking. And if you're like me, and I'm a parent, you've invested a considerable sum of money in perhaps private high school, maybe even private elementary school, and you're probably a participant in your son or daughter's finances as they continue through college. It's a lot of money. I've been there. One of my daughters recently finished Harvard Business School, and now that she's done, I'm frankly relieved. All that said, you may ask yourself, what can I do to enhance my son or daughter's chances or odds of getting one of these positions on Wall Street? And why do people think about this even? Certainly what interested me about Wall Street when I was in college at the University of Chicago and as I was coming out of Harvard Business School was, wow, these people make a lot of money at relatively early ages. And just to bring you up to date as of the taping of this video, I've recently coached a couple of analysts. These are individuals who are 18 or 19 years old in college into summer internship roles that compensate or pay annually $110,000. And in a couple of instances, they've also received signing bonuses of $2,500 for a summer internship in college. Not bad. As of the timing of the taping of this video, Evercore has increased its associate pay coming out of business school first year out to $180,000, and Lazard, which is a very prestigious investment bank as well, has just increased its associate compensation to $200,000 a year for a first-year associate. Terrific. So why do parents seek my assistance in coaching their children? Because many sons and daughters who are attending these very good schools are receiving excellent liberal arts educations that in fact the investment banks are highly interested in. That said, in their freshman and sophomore years, these students are receiving very little training in the actual world of finance, which is understandable because they're focused, your sons and daughters are focused on introductory Western civilization courses, writing courses, introductory mathematics courses. They're not being exposed in all likelihood to finance, corporate finance, capital markets, understandably. So the first role that a coach such as myself can play for these individuals is to begin in a safe environment, giving them an overview of the essentials of the topics that they will be asked about when they get an interview with an investment bank, which is always the opening goal. One of the things that I do when I work with your son or daughter is I help them to understand what investment banking is and what it is that investment banks do in their various groups. And so when the student begins showing up for informational interviews, they'll start talking to people who work in the various industry groups, such as tech, media and telecom, which is extremely popular, life sciences and healthcare, consumer and retail, energy, industrials, financial sponsors. Those are all areas that are new to the student, and it's helpful to understand what those groups do. In addition, there are various product areas that interview on campus, such as mergers and acquisitions, which was most of my background in my early history. I'm an M&A banker by trade, and also leverage finance, debt capital markets, and equity capital markets. Those are the major product groups. And so what do those groups do? As the student goes through the process, they'll receive advice from career services. And career services is very helpful in terms of providing the student with research resources to identify job opportunities. There's a very popular website called Handshake that's used on a number of the campuses. But regrettably, I find that unless you're working with an experienced investment banker such as myself, students can sometimes spend too much time on some activities, such as drafting a cover letter, and not enough time on other activities like appropriately identifying firms to which they should apply, and also reaching out on LinkedIn to the alumni network from their campus, and also preparing for the various interview types, including hire views, and applying to these firms. And so, for example, I believe in a very short cover letter approach. That helps the students save a lot of time, and in my experience as an investment banker, for years of interviewing, I actually never saw a cover letter. So that gives you a sense for how I think about that process. I'm a practitioner of interviewing. I want the best for your son and daughter. My goal is to get them the job and help them get the job, and to understand the cultures of the firms with whom they're interviewing or with which they're interviewing, and the kinds of questions they'll be getting so that they can answer those questions successfully. I work with some students as early as senior in high school, believe it or not. I currently have a 13-year-old and a 17-year-old. I'm coaching into investment banking in the same family. I have a lot of 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds. And then I also have a number of people who are in graduate school, but at that point, most MBA candidates are financially independent, although in debt. So that's more about what I do. I'm always happy to speak with parents about the specifics of what I do and their particular situations. But I have worked with many varieties of sons and daughters through this process. Everything from students who are very nervous about the process to students who may be overly confident. And that's a different topic. I have coached students into every single prestigious investment bank. Internships and full-time positions with Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Evercore, Centerview, Cowen, Piper Sandler, you name an investment bank, and I've coached a few to several people into those firms. And I oftentimes know the partners in those firms because of my vintage, because of when I was a partner on Wall Street. I've also coached students into some of the major private equity and venture capital firms. And the reason that phenomena is occurring is because private equity in particular has expanded dramatically in the United States, and they need more and more people directly out of college, which didn't used to be the case, but has become increasingly the case because they have a huge appetite for human resources. So that's an overview of how I can be helpful. My personal style and professional style is very supportive and one of patience, and my goal is to be of maximum utility to your son or daughter in achieving your and their objectives. Thank you for listening. And once again, you can learn more about what I and my colleagues do at www.harvardcareermanagement.com.